So I was saying, because the colors were not as thick. But obviously, once I made that part of the Gangs of New York, at that time I had not owned, or even seen, by the by, even seen online, in a museum or whatever, I had only seen the, what's it called, the original adverts in these flimsy, unrealistic drawings of the Lenin colors in all cardstock. And since my understanding was that the reproduction ones I had were completely the same, I saw them as being very thick. And since the original celluloid ones, and I did not, then I owned some, but the original ones I had since my childhood, which were online, were very thick, like that one, more or less. And also it is very hard to judge the thickness of a color or the hardness of anything, the color or anything, through online photographs. However good the pixelization may be. And thus I was thinking, how would those button to the back collar button when not the start? Or at least would be impractical. And so my understanding was that they were already very thick. But upon opening these original Lenin collars, the paper is very stiff. Originals are thin. It becomes clear that although these I date from 1880, they probably kept the same construction until the late 19th century, or perhaps do date from 1880, who knows. I've not opened them again. See how fit it is. You saw in the Lenin color playlist. It becomes clear that actually they must have been very thin. Rather like these 2-plies, they were imitating 2-ply of thin linen, starched heavily. But since only 2-plies, they could not be as thick. I mean, to get a result like that, one would require 10-plies. They have bloody thick that is. This is from the early 20th century, or later on even. So, it makes sense that one never had a back collar start. I mean, I'm sure they did have it even before 1860, but not long before. So, it changes my entire view. And as far as I know, I researched in the most extreme degree probably possible upon the internet regarding the textual colors and every bit of information that may have been repeated online. And honestly, I never saw this information. I just discovered it myself directly through my reasoning and my general knowledge of menswear of the second half of the 19th century. So this knowledge I'm giving you now is very unique and quite new, quite rediscovered as far as I know. If anybody said the same thing and you know of it, obviously, do tell me. But I dropped it. So yes, it's the same thing for the plastic collars. This is where this comes in. See, this is from 1910 to 1930, or even perhaps late. I would say 1910 to 1930. So most likely, as per now, I've not changed my ideas regarding this. So wait, I talked about the Lenin color playlist. Yes, so to finish the point, when the first began having celluloid, what they call celluloid colors, in 1868 we began developing into the first, or the very, very first, commercially available, by 1869. But one reckons, no, for certain they were not these. This is a zelenite, a more modern form of celluloid that came about, probably started coming out about 30 years later, so at least. And this one is, I guess, even more recent, more 1910, 1920, I can't be sure of that. But basically, originally celluloid, as per the ads of that, you type the website, Disposable America, Clerks, Lenin Collars, I'm not certain of the name, but if you type that on Google, you shall find the website. They also explain about the original celluloid collars with the original ads, which again are just drawings, and are not that realistic, and it's just impossible to tell how thick they were meant to be, but I'm certain they were incredibly thinner than these, probably thicker, but also they said they were thinner and more flexible than the leaning ones, and you saw how flexible these leaning ones were, which were probably not 1870, and which, if anything, they were probably kept in the same thing, but they were probably even flimsier. And what I had from, I think it was from another fellow who dresses like that. I don't want to advertise him because they don't like his behavior, but he basically said from basically Peter and Creevy. You type Peter and Creevy on Instagram, and there's a fellow who dresses historically in different eras, but he also does it all at times. He had celluloid collars from the late 19th century, and apparently they were flexible and not stiff, but they made one piece part a lot. They were very flexible, and yet they retained a stiffish shape. They were not like the plastic collars that started appearing, I reckon, in the 1930s, 40s, which were actually, which gave the impression, at least when not being touched, when just being looked at, of this new cloth but polyester collar from the 1950s that I already analysed. They just fall like that. They are still a little bit stiffish, but they are not, in a round and stiffer manner. But the other ones of the 19th century, which were in a round and stiffer manner, were still very flexible, incredibly more than this. This is practically metal, trust me, look at this. Just look at the difference. This is practically metal. So, I want to say that the very early celluloid collars must have been deliciously flexible. But now the confusing part is that the very first ones, except if the advertisement was lying, but I reckon not, was truly linen coated in celluloid. But now my sense is it was not 2 plies. It might have been just 1 ply. To see with these linen collars, it truly looks like 1 ply, but perhaps with it, but they compressed it so heavily that it feels like 1 ply. They compressed the paper. Watch my linen collar playlist again. I'm not taking them out once more, but they compressed the paper and the linen wrapping it so damn much it becomes so laminated. It is practically just 1 ply, just a thicker ply, but not so thick. And I'm thinking, I said before, no, I will come to that one. But this is how the original celluloid collars must have been made. Perhaps they were genuinely 1 ply of cloth, but so compressed that or 2 ply that it looks like 1 ply, or was it genuinely just 1 ply, but being starched, it still held its shape, because, not being starched, yes, being starched, and especially being coated in celluloid. But now that is the thing, I do not even know the chemical process of how it was made. I could not discover that, so I do not know if they even starched it prior to, I do not even know how they had the celluloid coating it, sorry. Now, and this moves on to the next part, which is these new colors at last. One opens up. Great Scott! Look at these. This is the thing. I already opened them up months ago because when my sister brought them. So this is the story. Wait, I will not show them quite yet. This is the story. I was looking for colors upon the eBay all over, with purchasing these colors to wear, and I discovered the box. So when I discovered it, I already had that celluloid collar, and I discovered a box of celluloid collars. 21 pieces upon the French eBay with the original cardboard boxes, and it could not possibly date, I'm certain, even from the flimsy pictures. Then after the 1920 at the Ultimate Max, and I am certain they are actually much older. And the price was ridiculously about 25 euros. And also, since it was in France, I could have it easily shipped, since collars be not, even 21 pieces be not heavy, to our place there, and my sister would bring it back, which she did. Eventually it took longer to get them. Eventually I got them about 6 months ago. But in truth I purchased them much longer than that. And unfortunately, of all the ones I opened up, which were most ones, you could not bring all at the same time, not to damage the boxes. and they were all